Scott, how are you? Scott, the first
Derek?
time we spoke last year,
Yeah,
I had a jar of peaches for you.
right. You
I don't
did.
I don't have one this time. I come unprepared. I apologize.
Forgiven. Totally
So,
forgiven.
so I have a few questions for you. I've been dying to ask. So
Yeah.
Victor is a quirky guy. He's got many childlike qualities, very
Mhm.
mannerisms at times. Is that from trauma, or was that something he's had his entire life, you think?
Great question. I think, the trauma is the thing I was always focused on right from the beginning with the character. That's what John gave me too. I mean, we didn't have very much in the beginning other than he was left alone in this place
Yeah.
after this traumatic event that had happened. So that's the thing I always keep going back to. I feel like, you know, um, I think that also as Victor's memories are coming back to him or being triggered, I was sort of approaching it always as like there was this regression that was happening, and there are other external factors as well. His new connections. Ethan seeing the boy in white again. All these things were kind of bringing him back to that childlike place.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Who do you think's had it worse, Victor or Kenny? Because I keep going back. I said this to Ricky, and he started laughing, and he said it might be you, but I don't know. If I saw both my parents eaten alive, and then my girlfriend left me, like that's hard. But then again, Victor has had. We haven't even seen what Victor's been through on the complete scale, right?
Well,
So
there's that. Yeah, there's that. I think oh bless. Ricky said he thought maybe me. I
I
mean,
thought he said you've had it pretty bad. He said Victor's had it pretty bad. Yeah.
well, I will say I don't know. That's a super question. But I feel like I mean, yeah, he's. I would say. How about this? I would say that in terms of what Victor's dealing with right now, and I mean the reveal of him having a sister, that was a big deal for Victor. In the timeline of everything, since we've started this story, I mean, so much is going on. Everybody's kind of getting a kick in the right. Like
Everybody. Yes.
everybody, like Johnny even had a moment in the last episode, right, where she was just like, "I done." But I think sad Kenny. He's definitely since this whole thing has started, since the Matthews family has shown up, he's had some serious blows. I will say Kenny for today, just to give Ricky that because he's also done. I mean, he's doing beautiful work as is everyone who's on the show.
Oh yeah, you're both terrific. But the thing is with Ricky too, with Kenny, I should say too, is
Yeah,
like when he came back from all that tragedy, he was just worried about getting people food. Like what a
yeah,
great character, and and Victor has his beautiful spots as well.
yeah.
What's the toughest part about playing Victor, right? Because I mean, I know you're an actor, I get it, but like I feel like there's you carry some of that weight with you. Are you refining every season, or do you kind of always know? I mean, I guess you see the end game, which I don't see, but what's the toughest part about playing Victor for you?
Well, I mean, I don't see the end game in terms. I don't ever know what the see the arc, the character arc is going to be
Right.
for the whole series, actually. But I never know in the season what's going to happen. So I think that that's it. The scariest thing. I just think it would actually honestly boil down to just just as an actor of it being convincing. And I think that for any of us actors, right, that just finding a way to because there's just such deep emotional work that has to happen here. I think we're always trying to create as much reality as we can within the context of the moment or the scene or this fantastical world that we're a part of.
Right.
I think that would be the scariest thing is always just hitting that emotional truth every single time. I think and that's just for any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is my last question. So, I feel like Victor is the key to all this. I'm only in episode 7, so I haven't seen
Uh-huh.
so I have to ask you. So that I feel like this show is my third child. Like I've embraced it from the beginning. I'm protective of it. I don't like people and no one says anything bad about it. I feel like it's gained in popularity tremendously. But
Yeah.
I feel like at this point, some people are craving answers, right? So
Yeah.
they're like, when are we getting answers? When are we getting answers? So
Yeah.
my question to you, Scott, is at the end of this season, will they get those answers? And can you understand as a fan point of view why they're craving some of these answers? Because the questions are piling up and they're getting people's focus. I think people want at least a little bit of answers out after this
Of
season.
course, of course. I could listen. There's going to be things that are cracked open, and there's an epic 10. In my opinion, I think we all feel that way. Um, this is the season, this is the fulcrum season, according to John Griffin, right? This is how he was sort of, so this all setting up to basically start really cracking this thing open so that we can figure out how to get out of there.
Right.
And so I can say that. The other thing that I would love to say is I totally understand the audience's, response to all of that and that that appetite for just wanting to give me just something that's going to whet the appetite here. Uh, and the frustration of all of that. But there's a reality to that I would say is also congruent with what all the characters on our show are going through too. We're going through the same thing, right?
Right.
Essentially,
Right.
right? We are doing the same thing. We are living these lives of these people who don't know what's happening from moment to moment. And with each new thing that is revealed, can be another, a bunch of questions with it. But I would say there's a great ride ahead, and I think everybody just hang tight because there's some really exciting things that are coming up.
Scott, you are always so sweet and so kind. Until next time, my friend. Thank you.
Hey man, thank you so much.
Take care.
Yeah, take care.